Good evening. I understand the ARC informed their College of Experts and university research officers, but not researchers more generally, that it intends to overhaul the Discovery Project scheme, moving to a two-stage application process. Could you confirm that your intention to move to a two-stage process for the next round of applications, that's DP 25, with applications due in March next year?
Senator, we've been consulting with the sector in relation to one of the proposals in the ARC review for us to look at a two-stage process for discovery projects. And that's been progressing quite well. We haven't finalised that as yet. We're still considering it, but we're very close.
So when will the round open? Because the website at the moment says 28th November. Will that be delayed because you still haven't confirmed?
I'll pass to Professor Toomey to answer that. It won't be delayed as such, but we're still trying to finalise the arrangements.
Yes, so an announcement on our intended approach to the two-step process will be made soon. We're not in a position at this point to make that announcement, but we have been consulting broadly with the sector, and the design of the project at this point is that the grant scheme will still be announced at the time that we initially published on the grant calendar.
So the 28th November?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So given some of...
Senator, could I just clarify? You said that during the consultation the ARC confirmed that it was going to do that. That's not the case.
I said ARC informed their college.
Sorry, I misheard you. I thought you said confirmed.
Informed.
It was clearly consultation in anticipation of, but of course that's a decision for government to make.
Okay. So given some of the details reported online about this, it seems the intention is to reduce the time wasted by researchers on writing grants when the chances of success are very low because the available funding is low. That, of course, is welcome. But it is a major change to a two-decade-old practice. So I'm just wondering, why haven't you flagged this change yet to researchers in an official way when you inform the College of Experts and university research officers?
Well, Senator, I'll just start by saying that until we actually have something to inform them of, it is difficult. We have had researchers, though.
So what did you inform the College of Experts and university research officers
We
of?
didn't inform, we consulted with them in relation to it.
And we've not with the researchers at all?
We've had some early career and mid-career researchers engaged in discussions in regard to them, but we haven't done a wholesale group because we aren't able to announce something as yet. That being said, it was covered in the ARC review. There was feedback provided to the panel that was what the sector was interested in. I don't think it will come as a huge surprise, but there will be people, of course, who don't know about it, pending, whatever the outcome is.
They weren't communicated to by your organisation. That's, I guess, the problem.
As a general principle, and this links directly to our strategy, Senator, where we've committed to really strong ongoing engagement, things like co-design, working very closely with the sector, including researchers directly. So for any of the initiatives that we've been taking later to improve the way we run our programs, of course what people can expect is a really strong engagement and communications program from us across all things so that people understand what the changes are, what it means for them.
Yeah, I guess my issue here is that the research community at large was not informed about the intentions to move to make the proposed changes.
I think it would be fair to say that because it's a decision that rests with government, we can't flag an intention ahead of that. But I think there's been quite systematic consultation for what we could do in anticipation of a potential change to the system. So, but of course the general point would be any introduction and change we make, we will do a lot of work to make sure that every researcher understands any change.
Researchers have told me again and again that they see significant biases, particularly against women and ethnic minorities, in the way ARC grants are assessed. And they are worried that a disadvantage of the much briefer, less detailed first stage of the new process, which is the expression of interest, of course, and the lack of a rejoinder at that stage will make this problem much worse. And it has also been reported that members of your College of Experts, as well as Deputy Vice-Chancellors of Research, have advised you that the expression of interest should be anonymised and not include research team details to reduce these biases. And as you would know, this is already common practice in several disciplines like medicine, physics, in both the USA and Europe. And the Australian government's Women in STEM ambassador conducted a trial last year with several grant awarding institutions. So is this something that anonymisation, will you introduce that in the EOI stage of the process?
And before I pass to Professor Toomey, I just would like to share with you, Senator, that in 9 out of our 11 schemes, women have a higher success rate than men, just as a starting point.
And what about ethnic minorities?
I don't have that breakdown,
Okay.
but I'll pass
Maybe
to
you could provide
Professor
that
Toomey.
breakdown. But like I said, this is an issue that has been raised with me again and again.
I think one thing we need to keep in mind, Senator, is that one of the objectives of the scheme is to reward excellent and outstanding teams. And at this point, in the way our schemes are designed, we can't have an expression of interest process that doesn't align with the scheme objectives. So the nature of the team is one of the objectives of the scheme, and we need to assess that at an EOI stage. But in order to make sure that issues of equity are taken into account, if we were to move to a two-stage process, we would include information about research opportunity and performance evidence, so that a judgment can be made about the opportunity that the applicant has had for research and also the quality of their research. So we will keep what we refer to as our rope provisions inside the EOI process to make sure that the existing mechanisms we have for ensuring equitable outcomes are followed in that process.
So maybe those existing mechanisms need to change if your team is one part of assessment, because that does introduce a bias. So I guess what you're telling me is you're not considering an anonymised process for these grants.
Not at this stage, no.
Okay, that's that's sad, because, like I said, people have raised with me these biases. So when will you consider this? When will be the next time when this will be considered?
Well, I think one of the things we're anticipating is a policy review of our programs, and they are certainly questions that will be properly addressed in that review.
Okay.
That will be led by the Department of Education.